The joke was supposed to last one night, a few snickers, a few secret glances across a candlelit table, a humiliating story to laugh about in the office break room the next morning. But no one in that restaurant expected silence to become the loudest sound in the room. If you believe in kindness and second chances and in the quiet power of doing the right thing when no one expects it, take a second right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this remind us who we really are. Ethan Cole had never quite fit in at Crestline Marketing. He was good at his job, quietly brilliant actually, but he didn't drink at happy hours, didn't laugh at crude jokes, didn't chase office gossip. While others competed to be heard, Ethan listened. While others mocked, he observed. And that made him an easy target. It started with harmless teasing. They called him a professor because he corrected grammar in emails. They joked that he was secretly 50 years old in a 28-year-old body. They rolled their eyes when he brought homemade lunches instead of ordering takeout. But over time, the teasing sharpened into something meaner, especially from Brandon, the loudest voice in any room who thrived on attention like oxygen. When the office decided to help Ethan out by setting him up on a blind date, it wasn't generosity, it was entertainment. They told him her name was Lily. They said she was sweet, different. "Oh, you'll love her," Brandon had smirked, nudging others as if they were all in on something Ethan wasn't supposed to understand. They didn't mention she was deaf. They didn't mention they had reserved a table at a crowded restaurant just to watch what would happen. Ethan almost didn't go. He sensed something off in their grins, in the way they insisted on knowing the restaurant and time. But something inside him, loneliness, maybe, pushed him forward. He had been alone for a long time. Since his mother passed away 2 years earlier, silence had filled his apartment like fog. He worked, he read, he slept. That was his life. When Lily walked into the restaurant, she carried herself with a quiet confidence that made Ethan's chest tighten. She wore a deep red dress that shimmered softly under the warm lights. Her dark hair framed her face, and though she seemed slightly nervous, her eyes were steady. She spotted him, smiled politely, and approached. Stood up, heart pounding, and then he saw it. The small hearing aids tucked discreetly behind her ears. The subtle way she scanned his lips before sitting. The way she reached into her purse and pulled out her phone, opening a notes app. Understanding hit him like a wave. This wasn't a setup for romance. It was a setup for humiliation. Across the restaurant, he noticed them, Brandon and 2 others from the office, pretending not to stare from their corner table, watching, waiting. For a brief, painful second, Ethan considered walking out. The betrayal stung. They hadn't just tried to embarrass him. They had used her to do it. Used her difference as the punchline. Lily typed something and gently turned the phone toward him. "Hi, I'm Lily. I'm deaf. I hope that's okay." Her vulnerability in that single sentence crushed whatever anger had been building inside him. Ethan didn't hesitate. He smiled softly. And then he lifted his hands. He began to sign. Her eyes widened instantly. Shock first, then disbelief, then something deeper, relief. "My name is Ethan," he signed carefully. "It's very nice to meet you." For a moment, the world around them disappeared. The clinking glasses, the low hum of conversations, the flicker of candlelight, it all faded into the background as Lily's face transformed. Her guarded posture melted, her shoulders relaxed. Her smile grew genuine, radiant. Across the room, Brandon stopped laughing. What Ethan's coworkers didn't know, what almost no one knew, was that Ethan had grown up signing. His younger sister, Ava, had been born profoundly deaf. From the age of 5, Ethan had learned American Sign Language alongside her. He had practiced for hours, fumbling through gestures until his hands moved like second nature. He had interpreted for her at doctor appointments, school meetings, playground arguments. When kids mocked her, he stood in front of her. When teachers ignored her, he spoke louder. After Eva passed away in a car accident at 17, Ethan rarely signed again. It hurt too much. Every movement carried memory. Until now. As the evening unfolded, Ethan and Lily talked for hours, not with their voices, but with their hands, their expressions, their laughter. She told him about her job as a graphic designer, about the way colors felt like music to her. She described how she navigated a world that wasn't built for silence. He shared stories about his sister, about how sign language had once been the heartbeat of his home. Lily listened with a depth that few hearing people ever had, and something fragile inside Ethan began to mend. At some point, Brandon and the others left. The show they'd expected never happened. There was no awkward confusion, no frustrated shouting, no embarrassed exit. Just two people leaning closer across a table, hands moving in graceful conversation. When the check came, Ethan paid without hesitation, not out of obligation, but gratitude. Outside the restaurant, the night air was cool, and Christmas lights glowed softly along the street. Lily hesitated before leaving, then signed something that made Ethan's breath catch. A thank you for seeing me. He swallowed hard before replying. A thank you for staying. The next day at work, the atmosphere shifted. Brandon tried to make a joke about the date, fishing for a reaction. Ethan simply smiled and said it was the best evening he'd had in years. The sincerity in his voice made the room uncomfortably quiet. Rumors spread quickly, not the kind Brandon had hoped for. People whispered about how Ethan had signed fluently, about how Lily had looked at him like he was a miracle, about how the joke had backfired. But Ethan didn't care about office politics anymore. He was thinking about Lily. They met again the following weekend, and the weekend after that. Each time, their connection deepened. Lily introduced him to her friends in the deaf community, artists, teachers, engineers, people who welcomed Ethan with warmth but watched him carefully at first, measuring his intentions. He understood their caution. The world had not always been kind. Ethan faced challenges too. It had been years since he signed regularly, and sometimes his hands stumbled. Sometimes he missed subtle cultural cues. Sometimes memories of Ava would surge unexpectedly, leaving him quiet and distant. Lily noticed. Instead of pulling away, she reached for his hands and waited. Through her, he began to heal parts of himself he had buried under grief. But the biggest test came 3 months later. Crestline Marketing landed a major contract with a tech company developing accessibility software. They needed a team leader for the campaign, someone to understand inclusive communication. Ethan was the obvious choice, yet Brandon, threatened and resentful, spread subtle doubts about Ethan's emotional involvement clouding his professionalism. When Ethan found out, the old instinct to withdraw resurfaced. He considered stepping back, avoiding conflict as he always had. Lily wouldn't let him. She reminded him, gently but firmly, that silence can be strength, but it can also be surrender. She told him his voice mattered, whether spoken or signed. So Ethan did something he had never done before. He spoke up. In a meeting with senior leadership, he shared his personal connection to accessibility. He spoke about his sister, about the barriers she faced, about how inclusion wasn't charity, it was respect. The room listened, really listened. He got the leadership role. Brandon didn't apologize, but he stopped mocking. As Ethan's campaign launched, he insisted on incorporating sign language interpreters in promotional videos, on ensuring captions were not an afterthought, on hiring consultants from the deaf community. Became one of the company's most successful and most meaningful. One evening, after a long day of filming, Ethan found Lily waiting outside the studio. She handed him a small wrapped box. Inside was a delicate silver bracelet engraved with a single word, always. He understood what she meant. Always choose kindness. Always choose courage. Always choose to see people for who they are. If this story is touching your heart right now, if you feel the weight of how one small act of kindness can change everything, please take a moment to like this video and share it. Your support helps stories like this reach someone who might need hope tonight. And before we continue, comment the word "always" if you believe kindness should never be a joke. A year after that first date, Ethan stood in a small community center decorated with soft lights and winter flowers. Friends from both worlds, his office colleagues, now respectful and subdued, and Lily's vibrant deaf community, filled the room. There was no loud music, no dramatic speeches, just hands. Signing vows, hands wiping tears, hands clapping in silent applause raised and waving in the air. When Ethan looked at Lily, he didn't see the punchline of a cruel joke. He saw the woman who had taught him that silence isn't emptiness, it's space. Space to understand, space to grow. Space to love without noise. He realized that night at the restaurant hadn't been a setup for humiliation. It had been a setup for transformation. The coworkers who once laughed now watched with humbled expressions. They had tried to embarrass him. Instead, they had witnessed integrity. They had tried to isolate him. Instead, they had unknowingly introduced him to the love of his life. Sometimes the universe works through foolish people to deliver beautiful outcomes. Ethan often thought about Ava during quiet evenings at home. He imagined her laughing, teasing him for taking so long to fall in love. He imagined her approving of Lily. And in those moments, grief no longer felt like an open wound. It felt like a bridge connecting past and present. Lily once told him that sound is not the only way to hear someone. You can hear through touch, through patience, through the courage to stay when others expect you to run. The joke that was meant to break him ended up rebuilding him. And in choosing dignity over pride, compassion over embarrassment, Ethan changed more than his own life. He changed the culture of his workplace. He showed that kindness isn't weakness, it's quiet strength. As their story continues through challenges, through victories, through ordinary days filled with signed I love yous, one truth remains clear. Never underestimate the power of showing up with respect, because sometimes when the world expects laughter at someone's expense, what it gets instead is love. And that kind of ending isn't a joke at all. The first winter after their wedding came softly, like a whispered promise. Snow gathered along the edges of the sidewalks outside their apartment, turning the city quiet in a way Ethan had always loved. For Lily, snow was something she felt more than heard, the way the world slowed, the way vibrations softened under layers of white. Their home became a haven of warm lights and shared rituals. Mornings began with coffee and gentle signing across the kitchen table. Evenings ended with fingers tracing stories in the air long after the lamps were turned off. But love, no matter how beautiful, does not erase the world's harshness. 3 months into their marriage, Lily faced a blow she hadn't expected. The design firm she worked for announced budget cuts. Though her performance reviews were excellent, they claimed communication barriers made certain projects less efficient. The word efficiency felt like a blade disguised as logic. She came home that evening with shoulders tense, her movements sharp and restrained. Ethan knew something was wrong before she even set her bag down. When she told him signing with controlled precision, her composure cracked only once when she signed the word a burden. Ethan felt a familiar fire rise in his chest. Not the helpless anger of that first night in the restaurant. This was steadier, sharper, protective, but grounded. He didn't rush to fix it. He didn't drown her in reassurances. He simply took her hands and let her speak until the storm passed. He had learned that from her, that being present was sometimes the strongest response. Still, he couldn't ignore what this meant. Lily's income had helped stabilize their life. More than that, her work was her pride. Watching her doubt herself reopened old wounds inside him, memories of Ava fighting twice as hard to be seen as capable. A week later, Lily surprised him. Instead of retreating into discouragement, she began sketching again, late into the night, ideas spilling onto digital canvases. She designed posters centered around inclusion, illustrated stories about silent strength, created bold graphics with hands forming shapes of unity. What began as personal expression slowly turned into something bigger. She launched an online portfolio dedicated entirely to accessibility-centered design. The first week was quiet. The second, a few shares trickled in. By the third week, one of Ethan's clients from the accessibility campaign reached out. They had seen her work. They wanted to collaborate. Momentum built slowly but undeniably. Meanwhile, Ethan faced his own crossroads. Crestline Marketing, eager to capitalize on their successful accessibility campaign, began treating inclusion like a trendy marketing angle rather than a responsibility. When executives suggested reducing interpreter budgets to cut costs, Ethan felt the old tension return. He had fought to build something meaningful. Now he watched it being diluted. At home, he confessed his frustration to Lily. She listened, eyes steady, then signed something that settled deeply into his heart. The change doesn't survive on approval. It survives on courage. The words echoed inside him for days. So Ethan made a decision that terrified him. He resigned. When he told Lily, her eyes widened. Not in fear, but in awe. They both knew the risk. Leaving a stable job without another lined up was not practical. It was not safe. But Ethan felt something he hadn't felt in years: alignment, the sense that his work and his values were no longer at odds. Together they formed a plan. They would build something of their own. It started at their kitchen table, laptops open, notebooks scattered. Lily would lead creative direction. Ethan would handle strategy and outreach. Their mission was simple but powerful: help businesses communicate inclusively, not as a trend, but as a standard. The early days were exhausting. Rejections piled up. Savings dwindled faster than they expected. There were nights when doubt hovered heavily between them. Ethan sometimes lay awake, staring at the ceiling, calculating numbers in his mind. Lily occasionally paused mid-sketch, hands trembling with the weight of uncertainty. But every time fear threatened to divide them, they returned to the same place. Hands intertwined, steady breath, shared belief. Their breakthrough came unexpectedly. A video Lily had created. A silent, beautifully animated piece showing the isolation of being excluded from communication went viral. There was no spoken word, only captions and imagery. Millions watched. Thousands commented about never having considered accessibility in such a personal way. Companies began reaching out, not because it was trendy, but because it felt human. Within a year, their consultancy was thriving. They hired interpreters, designers, and advisors from the deaf community. They hosted workshops teaching leaders how to foster real inclusion. Ethan often stood at the front of conference rooms, signing passionately while interpreters voiced his words aloud. The once quiet man from the corner desk had become a bridge between worlds. One afternoon, after a particularly successful seminar, Ethan noticed someone lingering near the back of the room. Brandon. Time had softened him. The arrogance was dulled, replaced by something more reflective. He approached slowly, as if unsure he deserved to. Ethan braced himself for awkwardness, maybe even resentment. Instead, Brandon surprised him. He admitted he had followed Ethan's journey from a distance. He confessed that the restaurant setup had been cruel, immature. He said watching Ethan respond with grace instead of anger had unsettled him more than any confrontation could have. It had forced him to see himself clearly. There was no dramatic apology, just quiet accountability. Ethan listened. Then he nodded. Forgiveness didn't erase the past, but it freed them both from carrying it forward. Later that evening, Ethan told Lily about the encounter. She smiled gently and sighed. Sometimes the lesson is for more than one person. Their lives continued unfolding, not in perfect symmetry, but in resilient harmony. There were challenges still. Misunderstandings, financial pressures, days when exhaustion overshadowed optimism, but the foundation remained unshaken. On the anniversary of their first date, Ethan took Lily back to the same restaurant, the same table if possible. This time, there were no hidden coworkers watching, no expectation of failure hanging in the air, just memory. Ethan signed the story of that night as if retelling a legend. How nervous he had been, how angry he felt when he realized it was a joke, how everything shifted the moment she smiled after his first sign. Lily listened, eyes glistening. Then she signed something that stilled his breath. If they hadn't tried to humiliate you, we might never have met. The irony settled beautifully between them. Pain had been the doorway. Kindness had been the key. Before this story comes to a close, if it has stirred something inside you, if it has reminded you of the quiet strength in choosing compassion, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement keeps stories like this alive. And right now, I want to ask you to comment the word courage if you believe standing up with kindness can change a life, because it can. Ethan once believed silence meant being overlooked. Lily showed him it could mean being understood more deeply than words allow. Together, they built a life not defined by the cruelty of others, but by their own unwavering integrity. And somewhere in the space between laughter that once mocked and hands that now sign love, a truth became undeniable. The world will always have people who try to turn difference into a joke, but it will also have those brave enough to turn that joke into a beginning. If this story touched your heart,